Hey, look. Hi.
Hey!
Hi. Oh, thank you.
And beer?
What am I talking about?
Welcome to HQ.
Hell yeah, Squid headquarters with Chris and Emily, and we're just paying a visit. I'm having a beer.
We should all have beers.
Well, we should, but so we're talking about bikes, and where are we? What town are we in?
Sacramento.
Personally, I have a total soft spot for Sacramento. I love Sacramento. In what?
Why do you have a soft spot for Sacramento?
I went to college here, and it was like the big city. And
From Chico?
Big.
no, from a little town in the Bay Area
Okay.
that will remain unnamed.
Right.
And so yeah, we're here in a modest headquarters, and this used to be a barbershop, and it's got a beautiful floor. And we took a look at the paint booth and some of the incredible painting. How did you get going on the painting? Let's hear about the sign painting story.
Yeah, after trade school, I was looking for a job and ended up working at a sign shop doing fleet repair for their vehicles, and started introducing me to more and more like odd jobs. So I was making sign cabinets, channel letters, vinyl install, and then painting cabinets and welding cabinets. So kind of picking up all these like little skill sets that have like slowly applied to bits of this business.
What's a channel letter?
It's like the individual letters, so it's like you can have like the full box that's just backlit, and then some signs have like the individual letters.
Where you can put lights in.
Yeah.
Whose idea was Squid? Or was it just like one night of...
Emily needed a bike sponsor because the year before that we had like used what was it, Rouse?
Yeah.
What kind of racing were you doing then?
I quit road racing and then started racing cyclocross, and because there's not many teams in cyclocross and I had never raced cyclocross, I just kind of essentially put together a bunch of my own sponsors and did my first year racing cyclocross with just kind of like on our own. And
Awesome.
we, the team, or I was supposed to have custom painted bikes, and one of them did not match at all my neon kit. Like at all. It was school bus yellow.
So embarrassing.
So embarrassing. And so I was like, hey, can I fix this? And I went to the hobby store and got a bunch of big pieces of like neon vinyl you use on like, plastic cars and stuff. And I totally like geeked out on some Saved by the Bell, little growing up. And did a bunch of 80s kind of vinyl throw up essentially all over the bike. And wasn't sure if I was going to be really embarrassed on the start line because there was no one else's bikes like looked crazy, and I just decided that I didn't care. So that was before Squid. That was before Squid was Squid.
You probably intimidated the entire line.
I think people just didn't know what to make of me,
No,
but
they
also
were- they were nervous.
I don't know. I didn't care.
They were
I came
acting
over
cool,
from
but they
road.
were
No, I knew who
nervous.
I was, and then. The next year, I was going to race cross again, and it was like, well, as opposed to just doing that, why don't we just do our own bikes? So that was kind of like how it started, and part of what was wrapped in with that is that the clothing sponsor we were working with, we were getting kickbacks from the design that I had for my race skin suit. So kind of the idea that like, as an athlete, I can essentially pay for my own racing and run my own team by benefiting directly from the marketing that I'm doing, rather than giving that to essentially the team director or other entities, and never actually even getting any feedback on like whether you're doing a good job. So kind of following more of the action sports industry in terms of that regard.
Dang, that's pretty smart.
So it's kind of like
That's some smart
multifaceted.
stuff.
But the painting of bikes was kind of something that seemed to catch a nerve with people that we noticed walking around with the bike particularly that one the first year. I don't remember if it was you or Marty had it, and like you just literally like you couldn't walk anywhere without people being like, what is that thing, and turning people's heads. And I think that was kind of what clicked when we were like, all right, if we're gonna, we have like all of these different things we're doing, but if we're gonna put all of our energy into one thing, like this seems to be really resonating with people.
Yeah, the painting. Excuse me, but so that has morphed. That story, the painting has morphed into this, which is just freaking amazing, especially these two colors. Yeah.
So that was like what, almost 6 years ago?
Yeah, that would have been 2013, I think. Yeah, this one was painted with our soap masking. So we paint the first layer down, and then apply Dawn dish soap. Like we only use Dawn dish soap here at Squid. We find it gives us the best results. But you apply the soap and then paint over it, and then hose off the soap, and then you're left with the gaps in the paint where the soap had been sitting. Yeah, so soap mask.
We didn't start with necessarily like a good idea of a real direction, or even I think unnecessarily a huge goal to like make it a successful company even. But it has certainly like morphed over the years and transitioned into what it is now.
And you're smiling.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So that's good. You're smiling. At the bike industry, man, you just, once you're in it, it makes you smile. You can't really make any money, but you just
Yeah.
you just keep going. So I know.
This is one of our new spray to order styles. It's we use a saran wrap. So you spray the paint on some saran wrap and then just kind of like dab it on to get this kind of like spongy effect all over.
This is what, 500 square feet.
Yep.
Roughly,
It's
yep.
got an important refrigerator full of Sierra Nevadas.
Yep, always.
It's right off screen. And then there's some containers out back, some 40-foot containers. There's 20-foot, there's a paint booth. There's one container that's just lined with brand new frames. And pretty cool. So what about, are there any ambitions, or are you guys just kind of going with the flow, or is this the next trek? Specialized. Trek special. Maybe Cannondale.
We'll go with not the next Specialized.
Yeah, I'm not sure where I went with that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I think that for me personally, I again didn't start it kind of knowing what direction, and again when it was started, it was like I was a bike racer, and this was an extension of that kind of, and it's obviously grown and developed much past that.
Yeah, one model, right?
Yeah.
Cross
sure,
bike.
yeah,
Race-
exactly. And it was like
race bike.
we were gonna start with like 15 or 10, and we were like, all right, we'll be able to sell those to like, we think we have enough of our friends, you know what I mean? Like, I'll take 2 of them, like, we'll all get a couple, and then like, we should be able to sell a couple of them to our friends. And even within that first batch, when we decided like, all right, this is what we're doing, how are we actually gonna get these, right? How are we actually gonna source / make frames? All of a sudden it was like, by the time we put in the first order with Sherwood, we were up to 35, 33, something like that.
I think
Right on.
43 was the first.
And so how many models are there now? There's like 4, right? 3 or 4 different bikes, plus
Yeah.
different
we've got
sizes in each bike?
Yep.
Yeah, name them.
The Shred to Eds.
There's a lot that start with the letter S.
Fuck
we've
Off
realized.
Johnny. The So Easy. The Salaryman. The Squid Cross.
Dang.
Yeah, we're 5. And then we've got
That's a lot
That one
to
doesn't have a
juggle.
name yet.
Yeah.
The fixed gear.
the fixed gear
bike
one,
doesn't have a
yeah, we
name.
don't have a name. So if you've got a name,
Dang.
you can,
And then there's
Dang.
also one other one in the works that wasn't named too.
How? Tell me,
Oh.
just to stroke my ego a little bit. How did
We love you, Paul.
what's up with this fuck off
the
Johnny?
Fuck Off Johnny,
How
yeah.
did that happen?
So I believe we were sitting at the taqueria
In
down
Downeyville,
Downeyville,
yep.
with you, and you were asking us about the sales of the Shred to Eds, but you could not remember the name of the Shred to Eds, and I think you said, "How's that bike doing? You know, the Screw Off Susie or the Fuck Off Johnny?" It's like, you mean the Shred to Eds? And then we were driving home, and like as soon as we got in the van, we were like, "So we're naming the next Like the fuck off Johnny, right?
Because that's an awesome name.
It's one of my quirks is I just start saying things that have the same cadence, just
Yeah.
to like, because my brain is mush.
Well, we've kind of debated doing like when
Kind of a
when
broad
a
name.
woman buys the fuck off Johnny, we call it the screw off Susie.
Nice,
And
I love
then
it.
we like, yeah, we probably should have done that.
We should
We should have thought of that like initially.
Well, we'll
but-
repaint yours, and next
Yeah.
time we'll
Alright.
do screw off Susie.
So it might be the fuck off Johnny / screw off Susie. Or not.
Awesome.
We haven't really decided.
These are Dickies with a chamois. So yeah, we take just regular Dickies shorts and have a nice chamois sewn on the inside. So if you wanna ride casual but be comfortable, Dickies with a chamois.
How many full-time people? It's the 3 with Angel too?
Well, Chris and I are full time.
Mm-hmm.
Pete, who's one of the other owners, is part time.
Yeah.
Part time meaning he has another full time gig. So this is his post full time gig.
Who is he? How is he related to the company?
He's one of the other owners. There was originally 4 founders: Pete,
Mm-hmm.
myself, Chris, and Marty Woy. And Pete is here after he does his other work.
What's his other work?
He is a physician. And we recently have Angel in here doing a bunch of work
Nice.
full time, which is awesome. Taking
How did you meet Pete?
what was that?
How did you meet? How do you know Pete?
I met Pete many years ago. We just had our 12-year wedding anniversary.
Oh yes! Say no more.
We met bike racing. I was racing collegiate. I was racing
Oh, I didn't know that.
for UC
He
Davis.
was a bike racer?
Yeah, he was a
Oh.
pro bike racer.
Right on.
I was racing collegiate for UC Davis, and he was
Yeah.
racing collegiate for UCSD.
Right
So
on.
we met
Okay.
through that.
These
so-
two have imaginary spouses. They're pretend spouses. Like they're
Mine's
kind
pretend.
of fantasies. Like you never see them, but apparently they're both married. Not to each other, so
We have that. I think
I'd
people
love to
get a
tease
little
them.
confused by that because we're
I
together all
love
the
to, I
time.
love
Yeah.
to tease them about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Angel's here recently.
Hi, Angel.
And he's going to help us out with all of our spray bike, which is awesome. We're also the North American
Right, oh,
distributor of the spray bike product line.
Yes, and right here to my left is the wall of paint, which has
Yes.
been seen in a lot of Instagram, and it's a beautiful wall of paint. So the spray bike, how did that happen? How did you get involved with that?
Yeah, about the same time we started Squid, a company in Greece. It's like a British expat, like met up with this paint manufacturer in Greece and started a bicycle-specific spray paint line. And someone like I think you through Instagram,
Yeah.
like they connected and was like, "Oh, you sell
Yes.
paint for bikes, and we sell bikes that need paint."
Such an odd,
So we
weird
should
match.
probably talk to each other.
Yeah, I love it. And
Yeah.
is this the kind where you press on the bottom, or this is it
No, this is just
just
regular.
straight out of the
Yeah.
can?
Yeah,
Easy,
yeah.
good.
Super user friendly.
Yes.
It's really good
And
stuff.
it is really good.
Yeah. So kind of the advantage is when you're painting with regular spray paint, it really like drips, and when you're getting in like the weird funky angles in the frame, it gets really hard and
Hmm.
kind of makes a mess. And his idea was that he wanted to make a very user friendly spray paint with application that's ideally better on bicycles as well. So he worked with a big company in Greece to accomplish
Wow.
that very successfully.
But you couldn't even write that. That's crazy. It's awesome.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. So we hit him up basically, and we're like, yeah, we should probably talk to each other. This seems like kind of a match made in heaven. And we asked him to send us some of the paint, and he was like, well, I don't have any paint in the United States yet. How do you feel about bringing over more paint and selling it? So that's kind of roughly how we became the North American distributor of the product, which has grown and is incredibly successful in Europe and doing well here.
That's great.
Yeah, so it's great.
And here, and we're in Sacramento.
Yep.
It was really good talking to you guys. So. my Squid Dickies. And they had a chamois sewed into them, and they're really good, and they cut pretty full. And they make my butt look really good.
That ass dough.
So cut. Here's what we're gonna do. No, leave it around. We're gonna take our glasses off, and we're gonna go like this.
We swapping them? Wait.
Left hand,
Why-
no.
Oh, just like in the like.
Yeah,
as
left
a-
hand, and then come on, bring it in.
We're gonna like 1, 2, 3.
Wait, I did my right hand.